Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More, and I'm standing outside the laundromat I bought almost a month ago, not quite a month ago, and we're making lots and lots of progress here, and not with sales or people actually using it, but with making it a lot nicer. So it also has a car wash back there with 2 bays and a garage shop back there too, and a vacuum. So it's got a lot of different things going with it. It also has an apartment that we're working on as well. So it's gonna look a lot different in the laundromat now than if you've seen my previous videos on it. And we did get in a little tiny bit of trouble with the town, not much, but we painted the outside, as you can see. And it used to have a sign, it was so faded, you could barely see it, but we just painted over that sign, and the town's like, you needed to pull a permit for the sign. We're like, oh, we can pull one when we put up a new sign. Like, no, when you painted over the sign, you needed a permit. Like, oh, that's kind of weird. Like, yes, it's kind of weird. Everything else you're doing is fine, but you needed a permit for that one little sign. So that was kind of interesting, but they've been really cool, really nice, and they're gonna feature us in the August newsletter. They feature businesses, and they asked if we want to be featured in July. I said, no, let's wait till we get it a little nicer looking and get some new machines in there, which we'll talk about here too, and then you can put us in the magazine. So we'll work on getting it nice and pretty for them by then. And we have lots of interesting stuff coming. We've got some new benches coming for out front. I've been trying to find machines and different things for inside. So yeah, we're making progress, but still quite a bit of work to do. All right, so here's what it looks like inside now. And yes, hopefully the floor does not drive you crazy. We just put that in. We've done a lot of work in here. And like I said, we are making progress, but still a lot to do. Our vending machine has been making money now. We put more product in there, which someone suggested, and it made almost nothing to start with. And now that's from a couple days. So I'm not collecting money today. I've been kind of collecting money a little bit because we need it for our quarter machine, but I'm trying to do it just on a weekly basis to keep things kind of straight. And I think somebody is coming in to use the laundromat right now, or Mo just talked to some people. Okay. I might have mentioned it before, but one of these machines is out of order, as you can see. We thought 2 of them were, but one was working, and the floor in here was just a mess. It had some really low spots that weren't supported well. So we came in, fixed that up, and then we put this floor in here, which is just sheet vinyl. It's still a little bit uneven, and you got machines moving, all kinds of different things going on. So we didn't want to put vinyl plank down, just this sheet vinyl, and we wanted to have something that would kind of hide the dirt as well. So we just picked this one, and hopefully it works well. It's kind of cool, but it's also a little bit plays with your eyes because it's got a lot of stuff going on with it. But then once we get the table out here and different stuff going, I think it will be a lot better. You can see we have 4 machines right now because we moved a bunch of the other ones out to the back that weren't working, so we could work on the floor and do this, and still have dryers here and the big ones, although this one, they were jacking up the floor to make these even, and it popped out the coin mechanism, and we're not sure how to get that back in there. And I can't find a coin to open this one to see what it looks like in there, or a key, not a coin. So we'll see if we can get that working too. Now, the other big news we had is I did have another laundromat owner come through and look at it. Like I said, people have been so nice and so helpful. He actually has a machine for sale I might buy from him, a newer washer. I've been looking into that too. But he looked at everything we have with a guy who can work on them too, so we found someone who can help us there as well. And he gave us his opinion on the laundromat, and the first thing he said was, my first suggestion is do not make it a laundromat, make it a big apartment. And I'm like, I don't think that's part of my plan. But the reason he said that was he could see the floor is wood. And then he's like, if you want to run big machines, almost all laundromats have a concrete floor. They don't have a wood floor with a crawl space. I'm like, that's good to know. And it's kind of interesting because some people have commented and said, I would have had new machines and that whole place remodeled and completely done by now. And I've been kind of going slow, trying to figure out everything and talk to people and not jump too crazy into new stuff and remodeling. And that's one thing I wouldn't have known if I would have jumped in and bought new machines, And then like, oh, you don't have a concrete floor. These machines won't work. So there are machines they make that will work for wood floor, but they might not be the biggest ones. So I can look into that. His repairman said that all these whirlpools he can actually fix, and they're actually pretty good machines. So that was good to know. We have some GEs too. He said the GEs are junk and really hard to fix and more expensive than they're worth. But we got quite a few more whirlpools. So if he could fix those, he would suggest getting obviously some new machines, some new washers. Really, really hard to find used washers, coin up, front load washers. So someone else commented and said you can get these for $500 easy, not these, but like front load ones. And I have not been able to find hardly any of them. I found one guy who had some for sale and they were sold like immediately. So you can buy new, but I've had problems with companies calling me back about getting new ones too. And those will obviously be way, way more expensive. So that's something to look at too. It's not a huge laundromat. It's not going to generate a lot of revenue right away. So I don't want to go spending $100,000 on machines, not knowing, if I'm ever going to make that money back in my entire lifetime. So we definitely want to go the used route if we can, get some better stuff in here, get more stuff working, see how that goes, and slowly progress with it. As far as the dryers go, it said the Dexters are good. The guy can work on those, fix those if they need work, and he said to get rid of these, which makes me really sad. I don't know if I'll do that, because he said the problem with these is they work extremely well. Everybody loves them. They're at least 50 years old, if not older. But he said the problem is when these were built, they have huge gas lines, take a ton of gas because gas was really cheap back then. Well, now it's more expensive. So these are very, very inefficient and extremely expensive to run. So that's one thing we're waiting for too, is I have not owned it long enough to get a utility bill for water, electric, gas, any of that. The previous owners didn't really give us much of anything. So I really want to see that, see how much our utilities are too, to figure out, if they are crazy. The previous owners gave us a rough idea of what the utilities were, and it didn't seem that high. But again, we'll see what they are once we get those first bills, because if they are using crazy amounts of gas, they might, be costing us more than they're making us. So that's something to consider there too. So our plan is to try and find more machines. I have at least one I can get, but that's literally the only used one I've been able to find for what I'm looking for. I've even talked to companies that carry used ones and they don't have hardly anything. So trying to work on that, take my time doing that. We'll try and get a few more of these whirlpools fixed, so we'll have a mix of front load, regular ones here. And then for dryers, I think we're okay just leaving them as they are for right now, seeing how that goes. We've got the floor that's in, trying to find another pop machine, which again has not been easy either. I can find all kinds of broken down ones, but really like to go the used route there too, because new stuff like that is very, very expensive. So a few things to think about. We're going to paint, obviously want to get all that done, and then we need to look at HVAC at some point. It's okay for right now, but in the winter we might want to do a mini split, something like that in here. So slowly making progress, and people keep using it. We've had it open this whole time. As you saw in the last video, half of it was kind of taped off, but people keep using it. More people seem to be coming, so that's good. Everyone who stops by says they love that it's getting revamped and redone, and so I think it will be a pretty good little place once we get it done. It's just going to take some more time. So we'll have many more videos of it and updates on what's going on and what's happening with the apartment next door, the car wash. I'll come back here on Friday probably and collect quarters and see how much we made this last week, and I'll add that to my little chart I made and showed in the last video too. And so we'll just see how we can keep improving things and making it better. Of course, I'm open to suggestions and comments. So some people have helped me out on those already, and I do read those even if I can't respond to everyone. All right, thanks for watching. Like I said, we'll be back here a lot, and my other flips we have going, rentals, different stuff, and businesses. Of course, the liquor store and mini mart's been doing great. Hopefully we can get this to some point like that too.